particularly, hyped up about politics
Nothing.
or anything?
Nothing.
Wow.
No religious affiliation, no political affiliation. No, he just hung out.
And no history of mental illness?
Not a bit.
The brother of the Las Vegas gunman says he had no sign of mental illness and no hint that he would ever commit a crime like this. So this morning, psychiatrist David Henderson is here. He serves as an expert witness in criminal cases and really does have some insight into what could have motivated the mass shooting in Las Vegas. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, I don't want to, it would be inappropriate to say that our conversation here would be able to dictate exactly what was going on inside this man's mind. But I do know that you have some knowledge about what can potentially trigger something like this in somebody.
Sure, absolutely. In a general sense, there are three main issues that lead someone to act in a violent, aggressive way like this. The first is an issue of injustice, a sense that life is unfair, the world is treating you poorly, and it leads you to act out of rage. The second is a sense of meaninglessness. My life has no purpose, there's no reason to pursue healthy, productive activities, so I'm going to do something completely opposite and destroy someone else's sense of meaning. And then the last is a sense of helplessness that often leads to control in a very pathological way. So those are the three elements that tend to lead someone to do something like this.
And could I simplify it to be somebody who feels like they have nothing to lose?
Absolutely, and clearly in this case, this was not just a homicide, but this was a suicide mission for this guy. He knew that the likelihood of him dying in this was very real and significant.
We don't know a whole lot about him as a person, just some sort of facts about his life. He's 64 years old, gambler, divorced, retired, pretty wealthy it sounds like, had some business interests. Anything about those facts tell you anything about this person? Well,
the gambling issue leads to a desire for sensation and stimulation and also impulsivity. We also know that he has a family history of violence, and so whether there's a genetic component there or just the circumstances of his family dynamics growing up in that kind of an environment. But the main key issue was that nobody knew what he was feeling or thinking before it happened. And I tell my clients all the time, you have to be processing your emotions with people in your life that you're close to or with a professional. It's clear in this case that he was not doing that.
Because you have had clients that have been on perhaps the more extreme side.
Well, having clients that we all struggle with anger. Anger is something that is natural to our humanity, but the key is in processing that anger before it boils over. And when you have somebody that's keeping that all closed in, it really creates for this explosive kind of scenario eventually coming out.
Interesting thing to talk about. David Henderson, I know, like I said, we can't know exactly what was going on, but I appreciate your background and insight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.